So today I'm going to teach you how to sew together two pieces of fabric to make a throw pillow. We're going to be using a front loader sewing machine. We have a stitch selector. You can see there's a guide here to the different kinds of shapes. This will depend on your type of sewing machine, but I can select any number of these. I only want to use this button when the needle is up and out of the material. Otherwise it's possible to break the needle within the machine, so we don't want to do that. So remember, selector is only when the needle is up and out of the fabric. The stitch length is actually how long the stitches are between each other. So if I'm not really sure about my stitches and I maybe want to take them out, maybe we'll go with a higher stitch length because then there's going to be fewer stitches in my material. But if I want to make sure that something is really, really nice and secure, I'm going to go with a shorter stitch length. The last button that's on the front of this machine is the reverse button. In order to activate that, I actually have to hold this down. So if I were to hold this down and press the presser foot, which is down in the floor there, this is the control. The control is the actual movement of the machine itself. The harder you push, the faster it goes. But if I were to hold this reverse button down and push down on the accelerator, it would actually back the material back at me using these feed dogs, which is easily my favorite part of the machine. So step one is going to be loading the bobbin. We're going to take our bobbin, we're going to take our thread, we're going to wrap it around this tensioner right here. It's going to be a little difficult to see at first, but it's right here. We only use this when loading the bobbin. We're then going to take the thread, we're going to put it up through the top flange, only the top flange, and then we're going to put it down on this post. We slide that to the right, we pull this little button out, and then we're going to press our presser foot and do a couple rotations to wrap the thread around the center. You want the thread to wrap around the center of the bobbin, not anywhere else. I'll then cut the extra thread and then continue to wind thread around the bobbin. Adding thread to the bobbin is always an estimate. You can run out, so it's always good to put a little bit more than you think you need, as long as you have enough strength. So I'll then unwind it and cut it loose. The second step is going to be to put the bobbin into the bobbin casing that lives in a little drawer behind this. So I'm going to slide this out. This is just extra storage. Then I'm going to pull our little door to this little cabin down here open, and this is our bobbin casing. There's a little handle on it. I'll pull that forward and that will release it. The bobbin slides into the bobbin casing, and then there's a little groove. You're going to want your string to follow down through that groove, and then you're going to hear a pop as it pops into place. Once it's done that, we're going to turn it forwards, holding onto that bobbin so it doesn't fall out. And then if you kind of duck down and look inside of the machine, there's a little space where the handle's going to go in, and you'll hear another pop when it's popped into place correctly. Once you have your bobbin loaded into the bobbin casing, you're going to take your top thread, and we're going to follow the thread guides. On this machine, they're numbered. We're going to go through these and make sure we go through the take-up lever, just guiding the thread through according to either the manual of your machine or the instructions that are actually, in this case, printed on it. And then as we get down to the needle, we're going to take the end of our thread. We're going to then pass it from the front to the back of the needle. I'll show you that in 1 second as my hand gets out of the way. And then I'm going to pull that thread straight through. I don't want it to wrap around the needle because that would be bad. From here, I'm going to take this wheel on the side of the machine and I'm going to turn it 1 revolution towards me. As I do that, if you come back in here and look at the bobbin, you're going to see that the top thread is going to go down and reach around that bobbin casing, grab the bottom thread and pull it up. I had to pull a little bit with my left hand to do that. From there, we pull both of the threads together. We're then going to feed them back towards the back of the machine. We're going to close our door for the bobbin casing and put our table back onto the machine, and we are ready to sew.